The PlayStation VR is finally here. We first saw designs of the headset, then called Project Morpheus, in 2014, and have since then seen investment in the VR industry grow much more expansive. Now, the $399 VR headset is ready for prime time. But is it right for you? Now, the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive have both been written about a fair amount, but the cost hasn't exactly made them approachable to the average consumer. Those VR experiences cost about $2,000 a piece. Meanwhile, you can get a PSVR, PS4, and pretty much all the fixings for about $800 total. There are already around 40 million PlayStation 4s in the wild right now, so it's a lot easier for gamers on PlayStation to get involved with VR. Another thing that helps the headset hit that $399 price point is that the Move controllers and the PlayStation camera aren't actually included. They aren't too expensive, and a lot of PlayStation gamers probably already have them, but if you're interested in actually having your system turn on, you probably want to pick them up. Now to the design. It's pretty bold. It's a bit more space-age than other headsets. The bright, multicolored LEDs and visor-style display are much more reminiscent of a Star Wars helmet than the bulky face computers we're used to. It's just as nerdy, but it seems to take itself a bit less seriously, which is nice. Build-wise, PSVR is pretty ambitious. While other systems just strap the display to your face, the PSVR balances it in front of your eyes. While this will probably help you avoid weird-looking pressure marks on your face, it does make it a bit harder to seal yourself out from the world around you. At times, the build quality of the headset leaves a little bit to be desired. I occasionally felt like I was on the verge of breaking the PSVR while I was resizing the headband on it. Sony wanted the PlayStation VR to be as approachable as possible to consumers in terms of price, and that meant relying on some older tech that they had released. The PlayStation Move controllers seem to do a surprisingly good job with tracking, despite the fact that they're over 6 years old. The PlayStation camera, on the other hand, has some trouble adjusting the mobility of VR, despite the fact that it's recently been updated. I managed to lose tracking of my controllers quite a bit during gameplay, and that was really a bummer. Oculus Touch controllers suffer from the same problem called occlusion, where your body blocks the signal between the camera and the controllers. But with just one sensor, this happened way more. Hardware aside, one of the major reasons to be excited about PlayStation VR is the partnerships. We already know that Star Wars Battlefront will be incorporating a VR-centric mode exclusive to PlayStation, and games like Resident Evil and Batman are launching only on the PSVR. With VR coming to PlayStation, expect to see more of these popular franchises embracing the early platform. The device has quite a few titles available immediately at launch, with more on the way. It's easy to highlight its shortcomings, but the PSVR really is an impressive system for the price. The headset itself delivers quality experiences, and it's honestly crazy how much performance it gets from a $300 PS4. With the PlayStation Pro on its way in November, I'm sure experiences will only grow more complex and visual in the future. Convincing someone to buy a first-generation VR headset has been a pretty tough sell. They're bulky, they're expensive, and they really don't have that much content on them. The PSVR is at least much cheaper. There are still some challenges that need to be solved, but Sony has created the most accessible, high-powered VR system we've seen to date. And if you're a PlayStation loyalist, there are a lot of reasons to dive in and make this your first big investment in VR.